to try and
I also
accomplish.
argue that if you are unsuccessful, it gives us another possibility saying of a 10th Amendment right, because we'll have something in our Constitution and will give us one more way to go up and say, no, you can't do this. This would, I believe, be the first in the nation that has it in the state constitution that we can't be forced to purchase. You're paying a bit of a price for this. Now, you made this decision very quickly. Tell me, as AG, you're here to be our lawyer. You are paid to represent the state of Colorado. You're like our in-house counsel. You go to some big corporation, they've got a lawyer right there, and you can call them up for any problem that the company has. You're that for all of us in Colorado. Why is this an AG issue? You know, the state didn't vote on this. The legislature didn't ask you to do this. The governor didn't ask you to do it. You did it yourself.
I did. First of all, this didn't come up as suddenly as a lot of people think. The issue of the constitutionality of an individual health insurance mandate has actually been debated nationally since 1994. And interestingly enough, the Congressional Budget Office has warned Congress throughout that entire period of time, Republican and Democratic administrations. Here's what they've said. A mandate requiring all individuals to purchase health insurance is an unprecedented form of federal action. The federal government has never before required people to buy any good or service as a condition of lawful residence in the United States.
Now, who wrote this?
This is the Congressional Budget Office, alerting Congress to the fact that if you do this, it's unprecedented. We were watching this, the attorney generals develop. We thought they would go to the mandate the state to do it, but when they went this way, we knew this was a very legitimate issue. And we talked about it in the last several months, and those of us who believe that it is a death knell to federalism. Because, John, if the federal government can micromanage your individual economic behavior to the point that they can force you to buy a particular product or service, what's left is a limitation on federal power other than the Bill of Rights. You know, you still have a right to a trial, you have a right to counsel,
free speech,
all that kind of stuff.
Press, you have a right
but
to
other than
all
that,
that stuff.
The government's in control
tell
of
you
your
everything.
life. That's exactly
if
right.
I can say, listen, you need to buy this product, you need to buy that product, you can't buy this product, as long as it doesn't impede on your religious abilities or your free speech abilities, if you lose in this case, the precedent is set. There is nothing. And in fact, we've seen congressmen say that themselves, that this is the big step.
So I'm looking at this, and you know, I'm thinking if this is an assault on federalism to this extent, if that's what I do. I spend a lot of my time resisting federal power in water, land, a whole bunch of things. And if I stand on the sidelines and say, oh, it's okay to order all the citizens of Colorado to buy a product, I'm not doing my job, in my opinion. Sure, there's political risk, but I have never made a decision whether to get into a case criminally or civilly based on what I thought was my political assessment. I didn't hear. Frankly, I think the majority of Colorado people, certainly those who understand what the issue here, are very supportive. They understand this has huge implications for their future and their kids and grandkids. There are a lot of folks out there that say, oh, he's just trying to tube Obamacare.
Would you have done this on your own if there weren't the other AGs on board?
I certainly would have thought about it, and that's just not a reality. Those of us who have any notion about protecting federalism were clearly on board. I mean, I wasn't, luckily, I'm not the only guy out there who recognizes what a serious issue this is.
Is there one attorney general from all the states or one state that seems to be taking a bigger lead, or where it's going to launch off? I've heard Florida might be the spot. Or are you all working on this collaboratively? I mean, the idea of 20 lawyers making a decision, I don't want to pay the billable hours on that one.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. And by the way, there's not a dime of Colorado expenditures other than my time and lawyers who are reviewing documents. We haven't put any money into this case. Here's how that works. The states got together. Florida is the lead state. There's a lot of, in a case like this, and I think you know this, there's law firms on both sides very eager to get involved, and there's a Washington, D.C. firm, Faegre and Benson, who's leading the charge for the states and the NFIB. NFIB is paying them. Some of the states have contributed a small amount. Most of the states have not contributed anything, but we all work together to fine-tune the pleadings.
Let me talk politics for a second. You're an incumbent. You're running on a Republican year, despite the mess with a gubernatorial race here in Colorado. This is a Republican year. The generic ballot, that is, will you vote for a Republican or will you vote for a Democrat, is leaning large to the Republicans here in Colorado, one of the states where the swing against Obama has been faster than any other state. This is a cakewalk state for you, if I can say so as a political analyst, for you to get reelected. Then you make this decision to enter this thing. The Democrats don't like it, and all of a sudden you find yourself with an opponent who's going to be very well funded, because Stan Garnett, who is the district attorney up in my home of Boulder County, he doesn't agree with you on this, and he said this is not going to stand, and the reason he is running is because you're doing this. It would have been a whole lot easier for you not to do this. Was this a smart political decision?
I'm not here to make just smart political decisions. I'm here to make sound legal decisions. And sometimes all the voters don't understand what the decision is. I will tell you, though, when I've actually sat down with people and explained this to them, this isn't just about health care. This is about the federal government's control over your individual economic decision making. Most people understand it, and I think they're generally supportive. I don't know whether I'm going to survive or not, but I'll do fine. One way or the other.
Actually, if you lose, you can go out and get a real job.
You're exactly right.
You make some real money.
You're exactly right.
But let's face it. You decided to do this. Now you're going to have to do the fundraising. You're going to have to do the campaigning. You're going to have to run a real election this year, a real campaign.
That's right. That's what it's all about. It's 83 or however many more days, and I'll work hard, and we'll see what the voters decide, and I'll be very content with their decision.
On this case, we think that justice runs slowly. This case is going to be slow. Give me an idea. When will we have a first decision? How long will it be before the Supreme Court this thing bubbles up and we get a definitive answer?
Motion arguments in our case will be September 14th on the federal government's motion to dismiss. Whoever loses in the trial court will appeal as of right to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. I would estimate a year there. Whoever loses there will ask the Supreme Court to hear it. Keep in mind the Virginia case is a little before this one time-wise. I think that would be in front of the Supreme Court a little earlier. They may consolidate the two. The fact of the matter is the Supreme Court's going to decide this issue. It's going to be close. We've got a liberal.
It's going to be years, too.
It will be before this goes into effect in 2014.
And let's face it, we are one heart attack away on the Supreme Court of which way this might go. All right, we've only got 10 seconds. Do we win?
It's going to be very close. Depends upon Justice Kennedy. If he goes with us, we win.
All right. Jon Suthers, thank you. Good luck in the race. Thank you. Tell a friend about the Independence Institute. Listen for me late nights on 850 KOA. By all means, we'll see you next week.